In 2023, this is exactly how I'm gonna grow my own personal investment portfolio or pot to £86,000. However, before we get into that, last year, if you've been following me, you may know, I made a video called how I'm gonna grow my investment portfolio in 2022 from 50K to 75K. And unfortunately, I failed pretty miserably. So before we get into how I'm actually going to grow my portfolio in 2023, and I'm going to show you the exact accounts and investments I'm going to use, I'm first of all going to show you essentially how 2022 went and also how much of a loss I made, and it was a pretty big loss, to be honest with you. And so I'll leave some timestamps in the description if you want to jump towards the end where I talk through my 2023 plan. But first of all, I'm going to go through my 2022 review, going through essentially exactly what contributions I made and how my investment portfolio ended up. If you are new around here, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. I try and do a video per week here on investing and personal finance, and of course follow me on all the other social medias as well if you're on them. So first of all, I'm going to review my own 2022. I'll go through it relatively quickly, but it's important you actually review your last year and your previous years. It's of course good to set goals and look forward. It's probably more important than looking at the past, but when it comes to things like investing and its numbers, you can literally see where you started, how much you contributed, and what you ended up with, and essentially review your year and see how it went. That's what I've done, hence this video. I guess the bad thing for me, I've actually put a video on YouTube last year, how I'm gonna get to 75K, and I didn't. So before I tell you what I ended up with and how much of a negative return I made, and it's a pretty big negative return, I'm gonna talk you through how 2022 went. So I made my 50K to 75K video with 11 months of the year left. So my plan was, in that video, contributions, dividends from Making Money Simple, the company, and also capital gains. And let's quickly go through each one now. So first of all, contributions, which is probably the biggest factor in growing my portfolio. Contributions are one of the few things you can actually control when it comes to investing, as we saw in 2022, as most of the returns of indices and cryptos and stocks and ETFs were pretty terrible. But the first one was my stocks and shares ISA. I said I was going to contribute £7,150 from February to December in 2022, and that was completely spot on. That's exactly how much I contributed. Number two was my workplace pension. I said I was going to contribute £5,500, but I forgot I'd be moving to Australia in sort of November time, so I actually missed out on the last month contribution essentially. So I only got £5,000 in there, so I missed about £500 out. So that was obviously my forecasting and planning went wrong there. Number three was crypto. I said I was going to try and invest £5,000 in crypto throughout 2022. I ended up putting in about £3,370. Part of that was my own money, part of that was the crypto I was receiving from crypto.com when I had a sponsorship or partnership with them. I fell short there as well. So in total, I said I was going to contribute £17,650 across my ISA, pension and crypto. However, I only got to £15,520. So I was about £2,000 short. However, I did open up a SIP in 2022 with Vanguard. All my money, of course, in the FTSE Global All Cap. I contributed to that every single month from May onwards in 2022, and I managed to get £2,900 into my SIP. I've got a whole video on SIPs, which I'll link up above if you want to learn what they are and how it works and how to open one. But that means my total contributions across these different accounts in 2022 was £18,420. That was across the last sort of 11 months of the year in 2022, because I made the original video a bit into 2022, and I ended up contributing about £800 more than I said I would. So more contributions, more gains? Unfortunately not, but we're gonna come on to that in a minute. So the first thing was contributions. Number two was a dividend, and I did pay myself a dividend from my company, Making Money Simple, to my own personal name, and I got the bulk of that dividend invested in my stocks and shares ISA. I said I was gonna do £5,000, ended up being £4,750, so that was relatively spot on in terms of that contribution. Number three though, and this is where it goes downhill, capital gains. So if you sort of look at the stock market data, on average you can expect around 7 to 8% over the long term, although of course it's very rare to actually get 7 or 8% in any given year. It might be plus 20, minus 10, minus 50, plus 50. It's very up and down, although in the long term we get 7 to 8%. I predicted in that video I would get 8% over the year. Although unfortunately, I actually got minus 20.54%. So that was a pretty terrible negative return that I mentioned a second ago, and I worked out the numbers, so let me quickly talk you through them. So at the start of 2022, I had a 50,000 portfolio in total and was aiming to get the 75K. Across the year, in total, so across the 12 months, I made contributions of around £22,700. So, you know, you say 50K plus that 22K, you're getting pretty close to 75K, just need that, you know, a couple of percent capital gain. Unfortunately, the market returns across most assets was pretty terrible, and I ended up with a portfolio at the end of 2022 of £62,400. So my personal 2022 rate of return was minus 20.45%. The negative 20% return, not brilliant. It's a bit of a crude calculation. I just sort of stripped out the contributions and did like a straight line calculation, if that makes sense. I didn't sort of take into account when the contributions were made, which should be a more accurate way to do it. But regardless, the rough rate of return I got in 2022 was minus 20%. As a benchmark, here you can see some actual returns in 2022 and how my personal portfolio sort of compared to these. So I was sort of in line with the S&P 500. It's worth saying most of my money is actually in a global fund, and global index funds were only down about 8% in the year. But because I have some crypto, for example, Bitcoin, which fell 65%, that then contributed to a much more negative return. So I ended up at minus 20% roughly overall across the year. I would definitely recommend you reviewing your past year, looking at where you started, your contributions, where you ended, and just work out your rough annual rate of return. Hopefully positive. Probably negative if you was investing for most of the year, unless you're Warren Buffett or some star day trader, because most indices, ETFs, stocks, crypto, even gold was down on the year. So yeah, work out your rate of return, compare it to this tweet I've got on the screen, see how you did, and let me know in the comments below. Now we've gone through the 2022 review, let me get into my plan for 2023 and how hopefully I'm going to grow my portfolio from about £62,000 to £86,000 across the next 12 months. A lot of this really is in line with my 2022 plan. However, there's a few changes, mainly because I've now moved from the UK to Australia. So we're using a slightly different type of accounts, and there's some sort of rules I need to follow in terms of my UK accounts. We're going to go through the same 3 steps again. My own personal contributions, dividend from my company, and then capital gains, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to get from 62 to 86k. Number 1, again, my own contributions. First of all, my stocks and shares ISA. Now, you cannot contribute to a stocks and shares ISA the year after you stop becoming a tax resident. So I won't be a tax resident in the UK from April 2023 onwards. So it means I've only got until April 2023 to contribute to my stocks and shares ISA. After I have to stop contributing. So my plan at the moment anyway is to carry on contributing £650 every single month. That's what I've been doing across the whole of 2022, and I'm gonna carry on doing the same in my stocks and shares ISA until April. So that'll be roughly £2,600. Number 2 is my SIP. Now with a pension, I believe you can contribute £3,600 for the 5 tax years after you leave the UK. That's some advice I got on social media when I asked. If you know any different, please let me know in the comments. I don't want to get anything wrong, but assuming I contribute £400 every single month, what I've been doing already from my company into my SIP, and that would be £4,800 into my SIP. Although of course, what I just said, you can only contribute £3,600, so I'm going to scale that monthly investment back to £300, so I then essentially max out that £3,600 I can put into my SIP every single year, now that I've moved abroad to Australia. Crypto, I'm going to carry on investing into crypto, £60 a month. That's what I've been doing for really a couple of good few years at this point now. So £60 a month split between Bitcoin and Ethereum, roughly 50-50, gets me to £720 in crypto. But now finally, number 4, this new type of contribution is my superannuation. So this previously was my workplace pension when I was in the UK. Now in Australia, I have a superannuation, or just super for short, and that's essentially my Australian pension. 10.5% of your salary has to go in there by law. It sort of depends what my salary is going to be. If I get a promotion, this amount will obviously be higher. You like that? But hopefully, on average, it'll be around 10,000 Aussie dollars, which is about £5,800. It just really depends on my salary. I should get a pay increase at some point during the year. If I get promoted, this might be higher. Of course, if I get sacked or leave or whatever, this is going to be much lower. So on average, I reckon it'll be about £5,800 across the next 12 months in 2023. And now number 5, also a new one. I'm planning on opening up a general investment account. Unfortunately, there's no stocks and shares ISA or equivalent in Australia, so I've just got to open up a general investment account. And of course, I'm going to be doing that with Vanguard. And I'm going to be investing into a global index fund, just like I've been doing for years in the UK through my stocks and shares ISA, workplace pension and SIP. Going to follow the exact same approach, even though I'm on the other side of the world. And I'm sort of hoping to put about £400 equivalent in per month. So that's about 700 Aussie dollars every single month across the 2023 period. So that my sort of total personal contributions. Number 2 is then dividend from my company, and I'm really going to aim for a similar amount. I'm hoping to pay myself a dividend before the end of the tax year, so I can then get it into my stocks and shares ISA, and I'm hoping that'll be roughly £4,000 net contribution into my stocks and shares ISA. So we total all those contributions, we get to roughly £24,000 in contributions. One of my goals, which you'll know if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram this year, is to invest £24,000 in this calendar year in 2023. So if I do need to make additional contributions to get to that £24,000, I'll most likely put them in my Vanguard general investment account in Australia to bump me up to that £20,000 contribution goal. Step 3 is now capital gains. What capital gains do I expect in 2023? Of course, in 2022, I predicted 8%, and that was way off. In 2023, I'm gonna predict 0%. Why? I just feel like interest rates are gonna keep going up, inflation's still high, there's still a lot of uncertainty, stuff going on with COVID, with the war in Europe. There's a lot of stuff going on. So I am just gonna be very conservative and say there's gonna be no capital gains in 2023. Maybe, you know, crypto might do well, maybe global index funds might do well, no one knows. But I'm gonna say 0% gains in 2023, which means me going from 62K to 86K in terms of my total investment pot is all gonna be from my own contributions, and there's gonna be no capital gains. Of course, in a good view, if there is capital gains, I could break 90K, I could get up to 100K, no one knows. If there isn't any capital gains and it's another negative year, then I should still end up with a higher investment pot because of my contributions, unless there's a huge crash. But obviously that investment pot will be lower than the contributions I made, if that makes sense. So that might happen again, it might not, no one knows. The best way to look at it, in my opinion, if the market goes up or down, it's a win-win. If it goes up, you're making money, that's great. If it goes down, then you're investing at lower prices, which then hopefully means you should make more long-term gains. And that is exactly why, even though I think there won't be any capital gains in 2023, and of course, I don't know anything. There could be massive gains, massive losses. You know, I'm just a random person making YouTube videos and sharing my journey. But the reason why I'm still gonna carry on investing is because I'm buying assets at lower prices every month, even if the market does fall. I don't really need this money now. And it's all about the long-term sort of compound interest, building up that pot. And then really, once I'm in a position now, I've got a decent 5-figure sum. If there is a good few years or a good decade of gains ahead of us at some point, then hopefully that'll translate into a lot of sort of money made for me through my investments. So that's my thinking on all of that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Going to be hopefully pumping out a lot of content on YouTube in 2023, all about investing. Let me know how your 2022 was, if you made a gain or a loss. Let me know what your 2023 plan is. I'll be interested to hear. Maybe if you have a good idea, I can implement it into my own plan. But yeah, let me know. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.